Good afternoon, everyone. Depends where are you dialing from. So welcome to our webinar today, which is Map the Path to Achieve Your 2026 Goals. So first of all, I want to wish everyone Happy New Year. I can't believe that we are already in 2026. It just seems that we celebrate 2000 just like, I don't know, a few years ago, and COVID is behind, and so many events are behind us, and we are already past 2025. I am purely amazed. I don't know, how do you feel in the beginning of the 2026? I can see more people are joining. Happy New Year to you too. Today I'm dialing from Moscow, from Russia. So feel free to message in the chat where are you dialing from. It's full power winter here. We have I think -8 today, but they promise us to be almost like -15 or -20 next week. So it's a very snowy and wintry environment here. All right. So before we start, just want to walk you through some housekeeping rules for today. So make sure that everything is working fine, your browser, your speaker, you can see and everything all right, your connection is good. If maybe something is not working, try to reboot your laptop, or you can always send a message to @Naluri events, and our team will help you to see what kind of a technical issues you have and to fix them. So please, this is a very interactive and participative session. So we're gonna explore a lot of practical tools. We're gonna have polls. I'm gonna ask you questions, thought-provoking questions. So feel free to participate, to write your messages, comments, questions in the chat box at any time. If you want to send me a private message, please message @Lidia in the chat for the private message. And by the end of the session, you will receive the recording of the webinar. In case you didn't receive the recording, you can always check out Naluri YouTube page where you can see all the previous webinars. Maybe something right now is more priority for you, and you can always just watch again the webinars there. All right. So hello, everyone. I can see more people are joining now. So let me just quickly introduce myself. So I'm a Naluri executive coach. I've been with Naluri for the past 2 years. What I do is life and career coaching. So I work with executives, with corporate executives on various career-related issues. Could be career growth, career change, promotion, finding your motivation, productivity, procrastination, finding your purpose, well-being, different topics, conflict management, emotional intelligence. I'm a certified coach by International Coaching Federation. I'm also currently pursuing my PhD in human resource management. And before that, I was working for 10 years in different corporate industries. So again, very happy to see everyone here today. And I think we shall get going with our webinar about 2026 goals and how we're going to achieve them, right? This is the best time now. We already finished 2025 and we are in the early start of 2026. So that's the best time to reflect, to think what happened, what didn't happen, and how we can move forward, maybe doing something differently. Maybe we need to look at our goals at a different angle and ditch our old school planning. Maybe it works, maybe it didn't. We will find out. We're going to look a little bit into the neuroscience, how our brain works in terms of the goals, to see the opportunities and how we can collaborate with our brain to achieve our goals, because this is the essential part. We're going to look at the things that maybe drains your energy, what's holding you back, how we can boost your strengths, right? I'm going to introduce certain frameworks for you, and you're going to have a lot of practical tools, or at least one tool that you pick up at the end of the session that you would like to take with you and start practicing in terms of your goals. All right. Okay. So today we are doing it a little bit reverse. So we're not standing in front of 2026 and looking in front at our goals. That's going to be somewhere far away from now. We're going to imagine that we're already at the end of 2026 and we're going to look back at ourselves. It's like hello from the future. Wave at ourselves like your 2026 you in December and see how we can get there. So it's going to be like a backcasting. We're going to move backwards. But before we get there, let's do a quick poll here. Let's reflect a little bit on 2025. So the question here is, which statement best describes your relationship with your 2025 goals right now? So now we can make some conclusions, right? Maybe you're on track and you're still achieving and everything is going well. Or maybe you're progressing, but it feels like a hard push, something is not working out. I've lost my steam. They feel disconnected from my current reality. Maybe it's time to revise them. I abandoned them. They weren't motivating anymore. And the last one, I never set formal ones. I work with a general direction. There are many people who don't set goals. They go with the flow or they go with general vision. And there is no right or wrong. It depends what works better for you. So let's see, where are you with your 2025 goals? So the majority right now, E, actually between E and B. So I never set formal ones. A lot of people don't set goals, and I wonder why. Maybe it doesn't work out for you, or you don't know how to set the goals better, or maybe you just don't pay attention to that. Okay, so a lot of people don't set the goals and just move with the flow, with the general direction. All right, my friends, then we have B. I'm progressing but feels like a hard push. So something might not be working out that well in this goal achievement. Like, why is it hard right now? Where is that thing that we need to fix? And then some of you answers that you're on track. 15%, 16% are on track. So out of all of us here today, okay, 19% now are crushing your clear milestones. So proceeding with your goals, achieving your goals. A lot of us progressing with a hard push, and more, the majority are not setting the formal goals. And then 12% lost the steam, feel disconnected. Maybe these goals are not relevant anymore, or maybe something changed the circumstances, right? And the minority of us abandoned them because the goals are not motivating anymore. So this is a good time for you to understand whether you needed to set the goals, why you didn't set the goals, how your technique in achieving the goals worked for you during 2025. Because once we self-reflect, we can see how we can move forward and what can we do differently in 2026. I'm going to introduce, I want to say, a little framework. Maybe it looks a little bit complicated, but actually it's not. It's very simple. So this framework was developed by Richard Bayatsis. He's one of the pioneers of coaching and of intentional change theory. How do we change? What do we need to do to change? Because a lot of goals, if we want them to be achieved, it's not just I'm here, the goal is out there. I want to be a better leader in 3 months. But it's a lot about our identity. So it's not just only about doing, it's a lot about being who we are. Am I the right person right now? Do I have the necessary personality traits to be this type of leader, transformational leader that I want to be in 6 months' time? So we look, the first one you see here, my ideal self. Who do I want to be? Who do you want to be by the end of 2026? I want to be confident and excellent in public speaking, for example. Or I want to become a transformational leader and a role model for my team. I want to become an outstanding team member and great in collaboration with my team. Once we know ideal self, ideal, of course, is an exaggeration. We don't have to be perfect, but we need to have a vision. Who do I want to be? Then we move backwards. Who am I now? What is that difference from my ideal and my real self? And how do we look at this difference? You see here, number two, my strengths. What strengths do I have now, and what strengths can I improve and leverage on to get to this ideal self? Do I have these strengths? Can I improve and develop these strengths to be better? And then we have gaps. So, what is missing? What is missing that I can bring in into my identity? Develop. Maybe I need to develop my emotional intelligence. Maybe I need to become better at conflict management or at feedback giving, right? So we're assessing strengths and gaps, and we always want to bring and leverage on our natural strengths because it's just easier, or leverage on our strong personality traits and reduce our gaps. Once we do this, we have the learning agenda. We build on strengths and reduce the gap. So we know what to do. We have a clear plan. Once we identify strengths and gaps, this is already your action plan. And then you start experimenting with your new behavior. Maybe you notice that you are very pessimistic in your thought process and you are always blaming yourself, always saying, I'm not good enough. I'm never going to get this role because I'm not doing this good. I make a lot of mistakes. The more you we're going to focus on this, the problem going to grows instead of focusing on the solution. So we need to experiment with the behavior, and this behavior shall be aligned with this ideal self. I want to become a transformational leader. How is my behavior now reflects this transformational leader who I want to be in 6 months' time? So we're trying, we're experimenting here, we're taking it as a game plan. We don't have to be perfect, but we are doing something different. We're practicing. And along all these building blocks, you have a central part, developing trusting relationship. What are we talking here about? This is your support system. This could be your family, friends, people who you're close with whom you can share, talk about this, right? About your goals. That could be your colleagues, your mentor, your coach, your direct manager, or anyone at your workplace that you want to share and talk more about your development. Because this relationship, the close bond that you develop with people, will help you to move forward. The support system is very important here. So we have the ideal self, we have the real self, then we have the strengths and gaps in between that we want to manage. And then from there, we move forward with our experimentation and practicing steps. So this is the framework that we have. How are we going to implement this framework? Let's see what can we do to get going with this framework. And here I'm going to talk about, so you see, RAS. RAS stands for reticular activating system. Well, ask me, like, what is this? What is reticular activating system? Maybe some of you heard about this. If you heard about it, please share your comments in the chat, and how did it work for you? So reticular activating system brings us back a little bit to the neuroscience. This is a compilation of the neurons in our brain stem. So basically in our brain, right? This is a combination of the neurons that are responsible for our sleep and awake cycle, for our attention, for our, it's like a filter. You can look at it as a sift. You know, we get so much information every day in our system, from news, from social media, from our work environment, from our family, friends, colleagues, everywhere. If we're going to intake it all, we're going to go crazy. But this is like a sift. So reticular activating system we decide what is important for us and what we can leave at the side. And let's see how it attached and related to the goal achievement. So reticular activating system is neutral, but it depends on our focus, our conscious focus. If we're going to focus on the negatives, the weather is bad, the politics is horrible, my boss is very demanding, the workload is crazy, we're going to see more and more negatives around us. So whatever we focus on grows. And that's how we program our reticular activating system to show us more either negatives, fear, problems, lack of something, or positives. If I want to find good in people around me, if I want to find the solutions, we reprogram our brain to look for this. So once we think about the goals, how we gonna apply reticular activating system, how we gonna work with it together. Think about your goals for 2026 as a very vivid and specific. I want to be a better leader is very vague. What does it mean better? I want to be a leader who is inspirational for the team, who can receive and provide constructive feedback, who acts as a role model, and so on and so forth. Make it specific, almost like your vision board. Make it emotionally relevant to you, that you have an emotional attachment to your goal. Because if we don't feel good about the goal, it's very difficult to move forward with it. There shall be some amount of positive emotions related to this goal. And we can create a vision board, we can create a certain goal environment. The goal shall be incorporated into our life. So here is that brain reticular activating system, and it also works better when we have emotional conviction and attachment to the goal. We say to ourselves, I want to be I want to be excellent in conflict management this year. I want to be confident to talk openly with my colleagues if the conflict arises, not getting personal. So that's when we're telling our brain, this is now important to me. Find things related to this. So once we know very clear, very vividly what I want, then we're going to start connecting the dots, and our attention going to be very selective. Let's look into this more. I'm sure you had these moments in life when you decided, I want to buy, I don't know, like you call it blue car phenomenon, or I want to buy, I don't know, Audi, blue color. And then you start to see Audis everywhere, blue color. Or maybe you want to get in your apartment, or you want to travel somewhere, or you want to learn public speaking skills. And besides the social media algorithms that's going to give you a lot of advertising and promotions once you start talking about this, your reticular activating system, it's also like a social media advertising, going to start showing you these blue cars everywhere. Like once you decide something, there are going to be another thousand of cars around you that are not blue color, but you're going to see, oh, another blue, another blue, another blue. You're going to think, this the whole city is only consisting of blue cars. So you start filtering the relevant information for your goal. So you can use SMART goals template here to analyze your goal, to make it very specific. I'm not going to go into the SMART goals here, because this is just one of the tools that you can use to make your goal very vivid and specific. Once you make it this way, then our reticular activating system is like a sift, start to provide you very selective attention. For example, you will start seeing relevant articles on how to become a better leader. You will start going and networking with an intention. For example, you want to be promoted. You will start to become more visible. You will start network more. You will start looking for the success stories. So the certain information related to your goal going to be activated, and you're going to be selectively paying attention to it. And we're going to activate our subconscious mind. Sometimes if you, let's say, relaxed, or you meditating, or you went to sleep, I'm sure all of you had moments when you woke up in the morning and like, oh, I know what to do. I know how to solve this. I know. So it's not just the external resources that are going to be coming to us. We're activating our subconscious level as well. Henny, I like the social media algorithm analogy. Yes. So we have our social media algorithm embedded in our brainstem. We just need to make a good use of it. All right. So my question to you. So since we want the goal to be emotionally motivating, we want to have some emotional attachment to this goal because this is how we get engaged, right? We don't want to look at it as something mundane, like a chore. So what was your last, the most exciting goal? Can you think it could be work related, can be not work related, when your goal was not like, oh my God, I need to do this year, I need to become more visible, I need to update my resume, I need to talk to my boss about my goals, and it all sounds like such a boring thing to do. What was your last exciting goal? I'm waiting for your answers in the chat. Can you think of any goal, work or not work related, that was exciting? To climb Mount Kinabalu with ease. Very good. Sounds very inspirational. And I'm sure there were so many emotions attached to that before the goal and after the goal. Back in 2018, to sponsor my mom a trip to Korea, our relatives, we feel emotionally very connected to them. I want to be muscularly fit. New assignment, new challenge. Manage to read and finish a book. To be thin. To use the stairs instead of the lift in the mornings. A lot of health related goals. Going on a trip with family members. Finally, start an exercise routine with personal trainer. Minimalism. Master my fear of water. You went water rafting. Congratulations. Cycle 100 kilometers per month. Get married. Amazing. To control my sweet intake. Joining national competition. Intermittent fasting. So, why I'm asking you this question? When you answer it, like for example, intermittent fasting, sponsor my mom's trip to Korea, you can see that this goal was emotionally loaded for you. How did you feel about this goal? Look back then when you set this goal, accomplished this goal, how did you feel? And I'm sure there was a strong emotional, deep emotional connection to this goal. That's why the goal was achieved, because you wouldn't let it go, because you feel motivated. There are certain emotions that fueling this goal. Be present, cultivate inner peace, honor my journey, to have a healthy lifestyle, to get my body weight goal, lost weight, a lot of health related and weight related goals. All right, so now you know what exciting goal looks like for you. And when you set another goal, you can see where is the difference. Is this goal also emotionally exciting for me? Is it interesting for me? Is it motivating enough or not? All right, let's take a mindfulness break and do a small visualization exercise here. So I invite all of you to sit very comfortably, like I'm sitting here on my chair, and put your feet on the floor. Stop multitasking, put away your phone. Don't do anything for maybe next 1 minute. We're going to visualize yourself like it's December 31st. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and just sit comfortably for a moment. Relax here. Put your palms on your knees. Make sure you feel relaxed. To do a little quick visualization here. So imagine it's December 31st, 2026. The full year have passed. And you had the most impactful, fulfilling, and transformative year of your life. Just take a moment, let it sink that you had a very good year, very impactful, very fulfilling. A lot of things have been achieved. You're very happy with this year, with 2026. So we are talking from the future. Take a moment here. What do you see? Like imagine yourself there in December 31st, 2026. Where are you? What do you see? What is your environment? What are the people around you? What are you doing? How do you look like? What is happening? Take a moment here to imagine. It could be imaginary, it could be something that you've been dreaming of for a long time. Visualize yourself there intentionally at the end of the year. What is your environment? What is happening around you? Maybe you've been promoted and you are in the new role, sitting in your office or working from home. Or maybe you're giving a speech in front of 100 people. Or maybe you got a salary increment. What is happening there? Or maybe you got a better work-life balance. You have time to spend time with your family and children. You're not working till 2 a.m. What is your environment? And now let's see, what do you feel? You are there at the end of 2026. It was a very impactful and fulfilling year. What do you feel? What are your emotions? Are you excited? Are you delighted? Do you feel on top of the world? What is happening with your confidence? Do you feel at peace? How do you want to feel at the end of 2026 after a super fulfilling year? Take a moment to connect with these emotions, to feel them, or at least to know how you want to feel emotionally as a new you. And the last one, what have you achieved? Let's just think of one tangible outcome. What have you achieved by 2026? You are already there and you have achieved this. What is this? Think about it, visualize it, look at it, feel it. And let's take one big breath here. And just breathe out, relax into that state of mind that you have right now. So we can all open our eyes. And this was a very simple visualization exercise that you can do at any point of time to reconnect with who you want to be in this framework. Remember this ideal self. Who am I by the end of this year? What is my environment? What has changed? How do I feel compared to now? How do I want to feel by the end of the year? Maybe I want to feel rest, recharged. I want to have a good work life balance. I want to have a peace of mind. What have I achieved? So the more we visualize this, the more we program our brain to move towards this path because we spend dedicated, allocated time and we make conscious effort to see the path forward and to know and to feel exactly where are we heading and how our destination look like and feel like, because it's very difficult to achieve big goals feeling negative, miserable, having low confidence, feeling bad about ourselves. So, knowing how you feel there and transferring this state into now, and then achieving these goals from this resourceful, excited, motivated state gives you a very different energy. Another question to you, my friends. If you were guaranteed to achieve your most important 2026 goal, like your goal going to be achieved, what belief about yourself would you have to adopt today? Like what belief about yourself would you like to have today? You want to believe that I can do it, I'm capable, I'm confident, I'm smart, I can achieve my goals. There is nothing impossible for me. Everything that I set as a goal is achievable. Like you guaranteed, you won't fail. in 2026? Like, what belief would you like to adopt about yourself? What will help you to move forward this year? Like, as a booster, think about this belief as a platform that you stand on, to get taller, stronger, higher, anything, right? Like, as a supporting mechanism. Let me start with myself. Like, what belief would I like to adopt? I want to adopt belief that other people behavior are not conditioning me. I'm not taking things personally. I'm separating my emotions from emotions of others. For example, okay, we have some answers here. Carolyn, small habits does make big changes. I believe we can change starting with small habit. Okay, so what is this habit? Be persistent, and make all the way to achieve the goals and objectives set. So that could be your um, word, right? Persistence. Print it out, write it down, put it on your wall in front of you. Persistence. Sorry, I need to. Okay, it's okay. No worries. Please attend another meeting. Okay, how about others? What belief would you like to adopt? Never give up. You may thank you. Never give up. Again, persistent, persuasion, right? Reduce procrastination, overthinking, and confidence. Believe everything can be learned and mistakes are not the end. Absolutely. Ability to adapt to different environments, right? Be adaptable, to have energy, to build habits, stick to habits. Exactly. We have the full chain reaction here with the habits. I can do it. Keep going. Show up for yourself, even on the days when you don't feel like it. I see, I do, I get it done. Be more forgiving. I fall and rise again and again and again. Show up, less judgmental. Just do it. Plan and execute. Believe in yourself. Remember these words that you're saying right now. Take a mental note of them or write them down and look at them when you feel low, when the motivation is down, when maybe physically you're not feeling the best of yourself today. Do it every day or do it now. I am worth so much more than what I value my services for. Exactly what they say, know your value, then add tax. Embrace a lifestyle that supports my health goal. Exactly how we can health goals and a lifestyle that not supports our health goals. We need to bring them together. Nothing worse than death. Keep moving forward. Absolutely. This is not the end. Nothing is the end. Thank you so much, my friends, for being so engaging today and so participative. Let me introduce a very simple 1 minute daily routine. When we got derailed somewhere else or we get overwhelmed with ad hoc things and daily routine, sometimes we forget about our goals. Our goals go parallel to us. We go one way, goals go here, but we need to bring them together and go together with our goals forward. So, simple 1 minute check in, micro habit, future self check in. When you find yourself, as many of you mentioned, procrastinating, and then ask yourself a question. What would my December 2026 self do right now? Is it this person in December 31st that we just visualized going to be procrastinating right now? Or if you are procrastinating, why am I procrastinating? What is wrong in my routine? What is not happening in my environment that I'm procrastinating here? Maybe I'm being a perfectionist. Will being a perfectionist help me to move forward? What is one habit that you would like to incorporate into your routine today to get closer to your 2026 goal? This is for you to take a note and self reflect. Now, like some of you said, micro habits make a big difference. Instead of ambushing yourself with a full action plan and changing your day upside down, what a one thing a day can you change? Maybe instead of 4 hours on social media, 3 hours on social media, and 2 hours reading the relevant literature. For example, to get closer to your 2026 26 goals. So take a note of these questions. Every time you feel you are moving somewhere, you are sidelining away from your goal, these questions you can ask yourself consciously, mindfully. One more poll we have here. So let's see. Now we're going to be moving in 2026. Let's look at our daily actions, at our habits that we just talked about. Looking at your current daily actions, your daily routine, what most often drains the energy you need for your future self? So we want to eliminate these things, right? That drains us. Context switching or constant digital reactivity, right? When we constantly in between the phone, laptop, and something else. Engaging in tasks misaligned with my core strengths, right? Trying to get better in something that maybe doesn't worth, is not worth getting better at. The cognitive load of managing uncertainty and vague plans, which is very difficult when we don't know what we want, when the future is unknown, it gives us a lot of uncertainty and anxiety and mental drain. People pleasing and overcommitting, maybe. A personal narrative of not enoughness or doubt or any pessimistic and disempowering mind frame. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. D, people pleasing and overcommitting. It's time to start learning how to say no and setting boundaries. Quality over quantity. B, 27%, engaging in tasks misaligned with my core strengths. So, why is this happening? What can you do to do more work that is aligned with your strengths? What do you want to do more at your job? What do you want to do less at your job? Is there anything you can do about it? Okay, so we have the majority of you answering B so far. So the core strengths, so doing work that is not aligned with your core strengths. This is something to really think about. And then a lot of you is A, yes, is indicating A, 18%, digital reactivity, which drains so much energy. Like every time the phone beeps, I need to look into it. And then my distraction recovery takes another 15 minutes to get back to my tasks. Some of you saying cognitive load, 17, 16%, cognitive load of managing uncertainty, vague plans. Maybe we need to make this plan specific. Some of you are saying 15% personal narrative of not enoughness or doubt. So, how can we achieve our goals and move forward if we think about ourselves in this way? Maybe the way of thinking shall be different. All right, moving forward. This is a very practical tool for you to bring into your weekly check-in, monthly check-in, two bi-weekly check-in, or just even once you receive the PDF materials after the session, you can take a piece of paper and answer these questions in order to set the goals. So starting from Q4, as just now we did the visualization exercise, right? So Q4 shall be already the achievement of the goals, at least some of the goals that we set for the year. What are you celebrating? Later, when you have time, I encourage you strongly to allocate time to take a piece of paper or whatever thing you use to organize yourself, right? What are you celebrating? What is happening in Q4 already in terms of your goals? Then we move backwards. Q3, scaling and impact. What is running without your interference? What systems are in place that are happening already? It means for these goals to be achieved, certain things are already happening in Q3. Certain things are running. Maybe you are attending the training, or maybe you are doing some certification, or maybe you excelled in certain skills that you're doing them effortlessly in order to achieve your end goal, for example. Then we move again backwards, Q2, execution and traction. What key result proves that you are on the track? So, what was happening during that time that showed you that you are moving closer to your goal? That things are actually moving at the right direction. We're looking for the specific facts, for the evidences. So all of these are thought-provoking and prompting questions to understand how we can move backwards from the goal by the end of 2026 and really understand that things are aligned. And now, welcome to Q1 2026. This is what we can ask ourselves right now. What was one big change in how we see ourselves, or the one brave move that really got everything started? So I encourage you to do this whole practical timeline, reverse timeline tool and write it down. Try to write it down from Q4 back to Q1. If you find it difficult, write it from Q1 to Q4 and then backwards, and see how you can align these bricks that they move coherently together. And the main thing today, our quantum move, based on all of the above, what is one decision you make this week? Reduce procrastination, be more visible, have a conversation with my manager about my career development for 2026, do stress releasing exercises, put the sanity checks in between the meetings. What is one micro habit that you can introduce now, today? Today is the 8th of January. If not now, then when? So take a note of this reverse timeline and you will receive the materials by the end of the session. Okay, more questions to you, my friends. What current acceptable part of your life or work would your future self view as utterly intolerable or waste of your genius? What do you think is happening right now that you really think you need to eliminate? Your future self in 2026 will look back at you and ask you, why have you been doing this? Why didn't you start this earlier? Why didn't you talk to the manager? Why didn't you take this certification? Why were you procrastinating? What do you see in yourself right now as utterly intolerable or waste of your genius? What is this that you think it's okay to do right now? It's acceptable. But if you look at it 12 months past, you will think, I shouldn't have done this so much, or I should have at least reduced this. What do you think? Tough question. It really takes some thinking. What are you doing? Okay, Mohammed Rizal. Not writing down my ideas whenever there is an eureka moment, aha moment. Please write them down. We can forget them. Start writing them. Get yourself a notepad or something. Too lazy to start. Why are you lazy? That's the question. To delay on my project progress. Why there is a delay? Don't have a girlfriend. What a waste. Fiki, I agree with you. Self-sabotaging. Not sending that resume. Why not? What will happen if you send it? No focus. Easy distraction. So being aware of these things, of what is intolerable, what is a waste of your genius, is already 50% of success. Self-reflect, become aware of what you're doing right now that is taking away your achievements. Overly scrolling time, self-confident, lack of sleep. Sleep is so crucial. Being too passive. Why too passive? What are you afraid of? Choosing the instant gratification over delayed gratification. Interesting. Procrastinating too much. Works become dull. Too lazy to start because self-doubt, the new thing will waste money, time. And what if the new thing will bring you something positive? Yes, it can waste money, but can it do something good for you? Look at both sides here. Tommy, not setting a goal that's realizing your dream life. Maybe it's time to set the goal. And what's the worst can happen? Maybe we will achieve it and start living a dream life. Target to lose weight, but like to eat at the same time. That's a constant dilemma. I can relate to this so much. So maybe choosing a different technique of losing weight, maybe eating things that you like, but reducing the portion. or introducing more vegetables into your diet, being comfortable at current position, prioritization, disorientation of too many goals. This is actually a major pitfall to having too many goals. That can bring us also into confusion. Not making it playful, adventurous, hilarious choices that no one dares. Yes, we sometimes forget how to make our life interesting, adventurous. We sometimes get into this mundane mode and don't see anything else, and our peripheral view is just like, the when they transport the horses, they put that thing right on them that they are not afraid of anything. So we need to take this thing out, right? Push the paper walls around us. This is just the paper walls. This is not the reality. Thank you so much for your answers. Feeling angry and frustration on others who are not doing their job, how is it helping you to feel angry and frustrated? Too lazy to write down the plan and progress. A lot of us feeling lazy to write down even the goals. Lazy to plan ahead, travel plan, not prioritizing health. So once we're aware of what is the waste of our genius, what is the one thing that you can do about it? Just one thing that you can do about it. Don't overwhelm yourself with too much. All right, let me introduce to you one small change that we all can try in 2026. Even if you don't want to become ideal self, if you don't want to collaborate and cooperate with your reticular activating system, this is our self narrative, how we talk to ourselves. During coaching session, I hear a lot, I need to start sleeping on time. I need to become more visible. I need to become active on LinkedIn. I need to improve my resume. I need to stop procrastinating. Even the tone of the voice seems very dull, demotivating, uninterested, and of a person who is not looking forward to doing this thing. When we say I need to, it's a chore. It's something that I have to do, but I don't want to do. So look and listen to your thoughts and language. How do you frame the conversation about your life, about your work, about your goals? When you talk to a friend, like, yes, I really need this promotion because I need more money. I have a lot of commitments. And it feels already so sad and difficult to achieve, like it's never going to happen. What if you change the word need for the word want? I want to be promoted. I want to become a better leader. I want to get a better job. I want to lose weight because I want to look certain way. I want to fit into my clothes. I want to be healthy because my health is important to you, to you, and to me. I want. When we commit to this, when we take responsibility for these goals, when we make them something emotionally loaded, something that we really truly want. So, how can we rephrase this? When I'm in a meeting, then I'm the person who connects ideas to my 2026 vision. When I'm talking to my colleague, how can I be that person from December 2026? When I'm having a conversation with my boss, how shall I behave that I'm that ideal version of myself? For example, when I face a setback, then I'm the person who extracts the lesson and reframes it as a data. When my colleagues are doing something frustrating and I am angry at them, I try to understand the reasons why they did things certain way, and I try to have an open and transparent communication to improve the workflow. So this simple change in our neuro-linguistic programming, when I am in a certain situation, then what I do, connect it to your identity, to your ideal self by the end of 2026. So changing ourselves now, like we say, I want to be happy, and we wait for the external circumstances to bring this happiness to me. You want to be happy? Be happy now. Look at the things that give you happiness now. Gratitude. I'm healthy. I have two legs, two hands. I have job. I have the roof over my head. I have my family. How can I build on this? How can I build on things that I have rather than focusing on things that I don't have and trying to build from there, from nothingness? How can I build on my strengths, acknowledging your strengths, taking a piece of paper and writing all your strengths down, all your achievements, all your contribution, everything that you did for 2025, and see how you can leverage on them in 2026. Don't be lazy. Just write a few things. It will help your conversation to have a productive conversation with your manager, to update your resume, to reset your reticular activating system, and to have a selective attention and to draw the resources that going to bring you closer to your goals. Like blue car, you're going to start seeing all the relevant information around you once you start talking with passion, with interest, with motivation about your goals and behaving this way, embracing the behavior now rather than waiting for the goals to be achieved and then being happy. All right, my friends, I think we are moving closer to the end, and I think it's the last poll for today. So, to protect your 2026 vision, which habit do you want to pull most courageously in Q1? So we talked a lot about things that we want to eliminate from our daily routine. But what shall we bring in? The calendar, defending time for deep work ruthlessly, setting boundaries, saying no, removing the phone, 2 hours of deep concentration, the delegation, letting go of tasks that don't require future you, like using Eisenhower matrix, urgent and important. If you can not do it, don't do it. Delegate this. Connection, seeking a mentor, a coach, a friend who sees your future self now, talking with this to someone who can help you, bouncing ideas, the communication, clearly stating your new boundaries and focus, talking about things that matters to you, and competence, committing to one skill that's going to multiply 10th time your progress. Just one skill. What is this skill? Do you know this skill? A lot of you, my friends, 36% are talking about the skill. Take a note. What is this skill that can help you multiply your progress? Focus on it. Focus on your strengths. And the rest of the time, if you have it, you can spend reducing your gaps. Then we have the second one is D, communication. Clearly stating your new boundaries and focus, talking to people about your goals. Let the world know what you want because the world can respond back to you with the resources, information, right people, communication from others. Let them know what you want. Talk about it. You talk to one person, they know that you want to develop this skill, they're going to introduce you to someone else. Maybe you will talk to someone else, they're going to bring you into some circle of professionals who are you interested in. Make it intentional, make it very conscious. Also 12% talking about C, so seeking someone that with whom you can talk, right, to whom you can confide, and 21% defending time for deep work. Could be Pomodoro technique, 45 minutes focus time, no phone, no distraction, 15 minutes rest, right? So really setting an intentional effort. If we're not going to do this, the digital world just going to consume us into the very dark rabbit hole. So now you know what you need to do, right? 12% saying B, delegation. So take a note of this and see what can you do this month, this week to just pull courageously one habit and practice it maybe for a month. Thank you so much for your answers. We're moving to the end of our webinar. So what we did today, just as a reminder, right? Our daily anchor could be a daily reminder. So it's not just about setting goals and proceeding with our usual a status quo lifestyle as it was in 2025. So, all of these tools you can take today to design your future, but we begin the process of being who we want to be instead of doing now. So, one mission for you this week is to make only one decision that your future self will recognize as the first domino. You know, this effect of the domino, right? Once you get this micro habit, once you set the boundaries, once you protect your deep focus time, once you delegate, right? This is the first domino. Just think of a one thing that you're going to do this week to get closer to the person who you want to be, who we visualized at the end of 2026. All right. So while the information is sinking in, first of all, I want to see that there is a download in the handouts, and you can download the materials because there are a lot of practical tools, self-reflection exercises. Choose one and practice just one and see how it goes for you, and implement one thing at a time. Implementing 5 things out of 5 things is a guarantee for failure. Just one thing, and then build on it, right? So adding on rather than just bombarding yourself with different techniques. Let me just go quickly through the support and resources here, and also on the left side here you can see a pop up window with the feedback. Please leave us the feedback that we improve continuously and get better. This is an Naluri text line. You see the WhatsApp number here. If you have urgent situation, any mental health situation that requires urgent attention, please take a note of this number. It works 24/7. You can always contact us. Don't be hesitant. Just look for the immediate support if something is happening with you. If you want to continue working on your career progression, on your goals, use this QR code to book a one-on-one consultation, either with one of our career coaches. Everything is private and confidential during the session, or with our mental health coach to talk about anything that bothers you today, or things that you would like to get better at, things that you would like to improve, or even if you don't know what to talk about, but you feel you want to talk and you feel lost and confused, it's not an obstacle to start a conversation. So here is the QR code for one-on-one consultation. And if you have any questions, please send your questions in the chat box. We still have a few minutes here. You can also take free emotional well-being assessment through this QR code and to see how you are doing today. It's anonymous and absolutely free. And the last one, I think, for today is, if you still haven't downloaded and using Naluri app or web version, here are the QR codes for the website and for the app. Sarah is asking, is this QR code in the PDF? I'm not sure, Sarah. Maybe you can ask our Naluri team. What do you mean exactly here? And since we have a few minutes here, please send your questions if you have any feedback, any comments here, anything that you would like to ask about the session. I'm happy to answer. We have a few minutes for the Q&A here. And again, I'm wishing everyone very happy beginning of 2026. Take a note of these materials. Do one tool at a time. Implement one micro habit at the time. What's my favorite tool? I personally like visualization, and I'm a strong believer in visualization because the more we consciously think of what we want, and we start to embrace how we feel in this moment, that's how we reprogram our brain to move towards this direction. What if the decision that I think is the first domino has been done? Fantastic. If you feel good about this first domino, then what will be the second one? So, just because the first step is done doesn't mean that we have to stop. Just assess this decision and it's done, then what's the next step? Thank you so much. It was such an insightful, motivating session. Thank you so much, Rose. Happy to have you here. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, and Happy New Year, everyone. Wishing you a wonderful, impactful, goal focused, reticular activating system focused 2026 year. Happy to see you all in Naluri for the consultations or for the chat, and have a great weekend. Yes, and a great 2026. Thank you very much.